Hey y'all, I got something I kind of need to get off my chest, but I also want those of you that are open-minded to hear where I'm coming from. And for those who aren't, I don't need to talk to you anyway. But I want to explain the difference in the two to me as from where I'm sitting right now. If you know me, you know how tough life has been to just stay alive for a very long time for me. I have several very rare health conditions, connective tissue disorders, among other things that, I haven't been out of pain for 8 or 9 years straight. I just try to get through. I can't perform like I used to. I can't do so much. But this year was a nightmare for me. Overall, it was really the worst year of my life for my existence. You see right now, you see this on right now, it's because I'm alone at the house, and just in case I start to keel over and die suddenly, I have to have a button to push to hopefully get somebody here on time, because it's that serious. I have a little bit more strength today, and my voice is coming back, but the thing I really want to talk about is this. Earlier this year, after I got out of the hospital and survived surgery that was normal for most people, but it was tricky for me, I was having a hard time coming back. The anesthesia wasn't leaving me. My brain was messed up. I was in a weird fog for months. I was in so much pain from the surgery after having gallbladder removed and other problems. I couldn't hold a guitar. I couldn't hold it like this. This was too painful, like really painful. I couldn't really stand up. After being in the hospital, I wound up with COVID. After COVID, I wound up with the flu. And I managed to, in that time, get some music done. And now, I've heard people that I respected, past tense, saying that any music, this is them without even hearing it or knowing the story behind it, any music created using technology, virtual musicians, etc., is completely without artistic merit. And in fact, one of the other words I heard used was that it's worthless. Well, frankly, to anyone saying that without having to go through the kinds of things that I've been going through and need to create, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. I've been making records for 30 years now. I know how to make a record. I know how to make a song. I know how to make it sound good. I know how to work with musicians. And whether it's myself or another, if I'm not satisfied, you do another take and another take and another take again and again. And this is the same damn thing with a different tool. That's it. Now you can make whatever argument you want to make about your perspective if you haven't done it, but I have, and I hear it's taking work away from musicians. Who do you know that's been put out of work by AI technology as a musician? Do you really know anyone? Because I can name me as somebody that was put to work because of it. I can name Randy Travis, the country singer who had a stroke years ago and couldn't even talk anymore, as somebody who was put back to work. He was able to make his first new song this year by going through, taking old voice models and building it exactly as he wanted it. What kind of audacity must a person possess to say that people that are artists and need to create are lesser because of the tools they use, and that their work is worthless because of the tools they use? And it doesn't matter. It's just so ableist. It's just so offensive. Now, I understand there are people that go to these websites and type in, write me a song about a cat with flatulence, and it'll spit something back out that's marginally listenable. But that's not what some of us are doing. Some of us are working our asses off. The last 4 songs that I did this way required over 1,000 takes per song on average. It would be way easier for me to sit down and play it. But see, the thing is, I couldn't hold a guitar. I couldn't sing. My voice is starting to come back. It's still a bit gravelly. I don't have the range that I need to do it. I don't have the strength or the stamina to perform. But I'm trying. I'm working so hard to build back up. And I'm telling you, if I hadn't been able to do these records this year, I don't know if I would have made it through. Just psychologically, I needed to express something. And I need new music when I'm feeling bad or depressed, and I needed a psychedelic soul album. I looked for it everywhere online. I was searching when I had the strength, and I had everything that I could find already, but I needed something new to touch me. And finally, I just said, I heard some friends saying, anything done with what's called artificial intelligence, it'll change names soon enough for this, anything used with that is soulless. It has nothing based in reality. It's not real. It's. I didn't want to judge it without knowing it. Though I had a feeling they were probably correct. But on June 6th, 2024, after Amanda went to bed, I sat here right on this spot, leaning just kind of over, and found this place called Udio, and I started a song called Climbing Vine, just an experiment. I want it to sound like old soul so nobody can say it doesn't sound, modern or technical or computery. I want it to sound, I chose the size of the room, the year, the location in the Midwest that I want it recorded. I chose the multiple drummers. I chose every detail of every band member. I chose if I wanted a guitar bend to bend over or go sharp or whatever. I did all that. And now people are saying, you didn't do it. No, I use tools. The same way if I tell a guitarist, hey, can you do this? I did with this. And frankly, I'm disgusted with those who are just automatically saying it's not legit. Every single lyric, every utterance, every ad-lib, every ooh, or any of that stuff was from me. I made it do it. I chose to make it do it. I could have so much easier, if I had the strength, like I said, just gone in and played a song and recorded it. But I needed it to feel like 1960 to 1972. I needed it to have those kind of garagey sounds. I needed it to be soulful. I needed it to be funky. I needed it to be heavy. I needed it to be prog. I needed it to be metal. I needed it to be all of these things that I could not do on my own and probably couldn't do with live musicians here in town, or could afford, because, medical bills and all. But because of the technology, I was able to do it. I made a record, and my friend Jason Neesmith convinced me to reach out to Robert Schneider, who some of you might know from the Elephant Six Collective, Apples and Stereo, and he produced in the Airplane Over the Sea for Neutral Milk Hotel, and he was really into it. And he said he'd been looking into it for a while, and that this was the first time that, in his opinion, he thought that an artist had actually managed to take control and rein it into being something that the artist was driving more than the tool was driving. And it was a huge compliment. But I still didn't know how I felt about it. So I wasn't going to release it. But then I started playing it for some other musicians' friends, and I want to tell you this. Not a single one of them knew that it was not me, and wasn't all completely recorded the old-fashioned way until I told them. Not one. Which should tell you something. Did their opinions change after they knew? I think some might have. But for the most part, they had already heard it. But now, I've reached out. I can't afford a publicist. I can't afford anything that's traditional in getting the word out on the records, because I can't go performing. I can't do CD release parties with a live band, which I would be playing these songs live like my other songs now if I could. So what I'm left with is you. I'm left with word of mouth. I'm left with these friends who checked it out and who had the guts to stand with it and say it's solid and it's good. And quote, you need to release this. More than one person said that verbatim, and I trust them. But the thing is, nobody will get behind me. Even friends that I had in the media, many of them who've covered all of my other stuff literally won't touch this. They're scared to. And at least two have told me that. One just said, it's too hot of a button to touch. Really. It's going to be accepted, y'all. But I really got my feelings hurt this week when I was already fighting with that. And I know nobody's going to hear it, You know, I'm trying to get this record released in the beginning of December. Robert Schneider had told me, get it released as soon as you can on physical so that, you know, you can say that you were one of the first to just go beyond releasing something digitally and make, because it's a real thing. And it was good hearing that from somebody that I could trust like that and who knows his stuff. But hearing from so many people that don't know their stuff or making assumptions is hard for me. Especially when it's somebody that I trust and they're saying that it has no artistic merit. It's worthless because it's not real. Motherfucker, it's real. It's me. It's stuff that I would not have done in my own name, especially since I did this for myself personally. I didn't originally intend for it to be heard, except for by me and Amanda to kind of build us back up and maybe share with some friends. But the encouragement made me do it, and now the backlash from media and the backlash from just people talking shit given to them by corporations. Oh, this corporation that's using AI and selling it to you is putting out propaganda saying you, the peon, the regular people using it, if you use it, it's not real. It's degrading. It's putting people out of... They're just screwing you. But to those who say that people who would dare to use it can't do it themselves, well, you know, I couldn't do it for a few minutes, but I know how to write a song. And I'm going to try to play a little bit of one, even though my voice is still shot and my guitar's out of tune, and it's been a while since I've been able to play. But I want you to know that it's me. If you like my work, I'm asking you to, you know, go to my Bandcamp, or wait till it's in the store, but I really want you to hear this record because it's the most personal thing I've ever done, and the one after that is even more personal. I've managed to do a couple of records and a couple of singles, and I'm going to get back to work on my traditional record as soon as I'm able physically. But until then, you know, if you really want to know me, I'm more personal with this stuff than I ever was with the traditional stuff. And it's not like I'm shy about saying how I really feel about things. But I was able to have it in other voices that I heard in my head. And all these years, I have never been able to get a song, much less an album, that sounded exactly like it does in my head into a medium that I could share with you. It always sounds different in my head until this. I was able to do this. This is something that hasn't been possible prior to 2024. Those of you who dismiss this out of hat, I actually feel sorry for you. But I feel so happy for those of us who can and who would be because we're able with this. I'm happy for the great poet who always wanted to make music, or great with words but couldn't do music. Now they have a chance. I want to hear a true outsider go in that can't play an instrument and make the best damn record of the year. That stuff is in the mail. But don't tell me it's not real. On side 2 of this, the Other Side of the Question album, which is the one that's coming out at the beginning of December, the first half of side 2 is me. The song's called In Your Mind, and it's literally me talking to myself in a way, in like a radio play way, this psychedelic radio play, where I was trying to figure out what is happening, because it really spooked me how it came out. The entire album. And what came into my head was, if you feel it's real, every person that heard this music without knowing how it was made felt. That makes it real. If you don't like, you know, late 60s, early 70s rockin' psychedelic kind of soul stuff, you're not going to like it. It ain't for you. But I would like for you to give it a listen and see for yourself. It's a trip. It's a mind fuck, and that's to put it mildly. And I've got a bunch of quotes over here that I'm not going to go into from other people on this video, but maybe I will later. I'm proud of it, and I hope you'll judge it for the statement that it is. It's supposed to be lo-fi. It's supposed to be not completely hi-fi to get around that whole being computer kind of thing. But it's me. And don't tell me it's not me. Don't tell me it's not real, because if you do, you know I can't trust you, because I know that it is. I know from experience that it is. All right, I'm going to try to play just a little bit of the song Blessings, which is the last song on side 1. And then I'm going to segue it, if I can, into the original, the recording that's on the album, so you can hear the similarities and the differences, but you can hear that it's real and it can be doable. It's not just some bunch of bits and bytes. Although how it was transferred is a whole other Wow Signal Collective story that you should check out sometime. I'll have a note in the record that you can buy that'll explain some of it. But anyway, I'm going to try to play a bit of this Blessings thing, and I just ask you, give it a chance. Don't just judge it because of what somebody else has told you. Okay? That's all I'm asking. Isn't that fair? All right. Now that we're here, we ain't going nowhere for a long time. But we're here right now, in the middle of our dream. And if we can only be in our dreams for this moment, well, that's okay, 'cause we're gonna stay till you become me and I become you.